Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And today I'm doing another episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me on today's episode is Miss Honey Haunting. How are you doing today, honey?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Hey, I love that. My co-host Trav, he's gonna be like, "Hey, she's biting me. Like I'm the only person that does that." But no, today we have somebody new, and that is Miss Honey Haunting. So thank you for joining us here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks on Who's That Cosplayer.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So before we get into this interview, make sure that you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So let's go ahead and roll right into it. Honey, how I discovered you was I was on Facebook one day, and I want to say like I'm in a video game group or something like that, and somebody had shared your cosplay from Fayday, where you were cosplayed as a fairy, and I was just like, oh snap. So I had saw that your page was connected to the post that they had shared, and then I saw your Instagram, and then I saw all of the incredible cosplay that you had up there, and like you killed it. Like everything that you've done, like I mean, I've seen stuff that I'm a fan of, like Sailor Moon. Yeah, you're welcome. Sailor Moon, the Silent Hill 3 stuff, like you killed it. So something that we do here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks for all of our guests is we ask them, what is their origin story? So who is Honey Haunting?
So my origin story. Okay. So first off, I wanna thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to come on today, because it was actually really fun and kind of exciting to think about, why I do what I do and really pinpoint exactly when I really got into this and why I love it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like more established content creators already know who they are. They've had all the interviews all the time. They've been doing this for decades. So they can answer without having to think really about it.
Yeah.
But for me, and I'm sure a lot of other, smaller gamers, cosplayers, content creators, they have never been asked that. So I want to say thank you for really actually getting me to like think about it. So
you're welcome.
Here's kind of what I formulated. Here's the breakdown. So growing up, I was always a big anime fan and a big gamer, right? And so, growing up, I'm influenced by anime aesthetics. I'm influenced by J fashion. I see JRPGs, stuff like that. And that's the look that I like. I've always been drawn to it.
Yeah.
Now growing up, my mama wasn't gonna let me leave the house in armor and shit.
Of course, yeah.
But
times have definitely changed. Like now you can leave the house like that, but back when we were coming up, I'm showing my age here, but it's like I'm 32 years old. So it's just like if you were rocking some anime aesthetics or video game aesthetics, like you were going to get laughed out of school, whereas now kids can go to school dressed like Goku or Naruto, and it's just like, hey, that guy's cool.
Exactly. No, 100%. And growing up, I never really got to explore that very much. My nerdy side was sort of kept to myself more. My family, they're more normie. But high school came around and I went to my first anime convention. I went to Fanime here in San Jose, California. It was my first anime convention. I went with a group of girls I was friends with at the time. And I didn't cosplay, but I did dress up. I put a little something together. And, that for me was something that really got me thinking like, man, I can really explore anime culture deeper now. beyond just my friends or my social circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can now go online and like interact with people. And so that's what I did. Here comes Instagram, right?
Yep.
Cue Instagram. I joined about like 6-7 years ago, right? Just like any kid, you know, I used it to post all my kid nonsense, share all my, you know, my little things, just literally between like 3 or 4 friends. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And, you know, as the app curated more to my tastes, saw that I was a nerd, and they were like, hey, here's some more nerd stuff for you. And that's how I came across big figureheads. You know, you got Yaya Han, you got Jessica Negri, you know, those big cosplay names.
Yeah.
And I see, you know, I'm seeing these beautiful women, big, just ooh, and I'm like, wow, I'm stunned, right? And I'm inspired, you know, and that's when I started, you know, slowly I started trying to create a feed that looked a little more aesthetically pleasing. I started caring a little bit more, started taking more selfies, you know, stuff like that. But it didn't look like
investing in yourself.
Right. But it didn't look like how it looked now. Again, this was like, you know, a while ago. And it took me so long to get confident in what, you know, the craft that I kind of got going now is what I'll call it. And so then now I'm coming across Black cosplayers and I'm getting excited. I'm seeing, you know, all these people making amazing stuff, like just as good as like, the
bigger name cosplayers,
right? White counterparts, or the bigger counterparts, just as big.
Yeah.
And that really kind of got me going, in overdrive with this. I was like, yo, I gotta be like that. And so then cue the pandemic. So I'm pretty much isolated and bored and lonely at the house. And I'm sitting here thinking like, what can I do?
Yeah, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do. Yeah. And
I really, really care about YouTube. I've always wanted to start a YouTube gaming channel, and I still do. But I put a lot of time and energy into cosplaying and pictures and stuff like that, because it was easier to sort of dish out content like that, and it was easier to share. I didn't have to ask anybody, hey, watch this video for like 30 minutes or nothing like that. It circulates faster. I have fun doing it, so I put a lot of time into my cosplaying and stuff. And so I did that, and the first picture or the first cosplay that I was really, really proud of was my 2B cosplay from Nier Automata. And when I saw all the support I was getting, not just from friends anymore, now it's like more people, like online people, are coming along and giving support and interacting with me and stuff. And I just got so ecstatic. I was like, yo, I'm part of this circle now, you know what I mean? And I had so much fun. And so now I'm getting really good with like makeup, the styling, I'm getting really good at like putting stuff together, and I do it faster now, and it's easier and it's fun. And
you're coming into your own.
Yeah, exactly. And so that for me is what really kicked it off. I didn't start doing this seriously until about, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. But this last year specifically, the quality jumped up. And, after that, after seeing all of the, all the cosplayers that had inspired me and stuff, I was like, yo, I gotta like get a camera now. And so I bought I bought like a professional camera now for pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see that. What type of camera is that? Because it looks really good.
Thank you. It's just a Canon Rebel. I forgot the actual, if there's like numbers and stuff to it. I don't know.
But it looks really professional, and I've seen it in a few of the photos that you take, and it's one of those things where it's like when you have something nice, you want to show it off because, like I said, everybody that's watching, and I'll make sure that I put a picture in the video so that way that you guys can see what the camera is, because it looks like it's a professional camera. And if you do know what type of camera it is, hop in the comments and talk about it. Or if you have any recommendations as well, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that going on, I started feeling a lot more confident in myself, and it made me feel like I love this cosplay stuff now. Like before, before I felt the insecurity, when I first started off. I felt the insecurity of like, I'm not gonna ever be like, these other girls, they got it going on. They got stylists, they got companies, sponsors, all this stuff, but for me, now that I've come into my own, as you said, it's less about feeling like I gotta like compete or something like that, and it feels more of like I'm an artist now. Yeah. And I treat my cosplays now more as like artwork,
I love
that.
I love that.
Yeah. And the pictures for me, they mean a lot, because even when I'm tired doing it, the finished product is always so fun to look at for me, because I put all the time putting, the everything together, and then doing the editing and doing the setups with the backdrops and everything, by myself. And but just seeing it in the end, I'm like, man, it's too fun, it just feels good. It feels like I'm just making something that I'm really proud of, and I'm really into it, And
I can tell. I can, like, just by everything that you've been saying so far, like from when you started off to your humble beginnings to where you are right now, to comparing cosplay to art, which it is, you know what I'm saying? Back when I used to wrestle, in the ring, I always compared the ring to a canvas, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you go in the ring, it's like a canvas, and you're performing art out there for the fans who paid to come and see you wrestle. So I totally understand when you compare your costumes to art, because a lot goes into it, a lot of time, a lot of energy, like how you said, the editing, the backdrops, and you're doing all of this by yourself too. There's some people out there that have, a bunch of help, like people that do this, people that do that. I mean, even with the podcast that I do, like it's between me and another guy who do all the editing. But, for you to do all of that by yourself, pinky's up to you, because I know that cosplay, it can be hard, it can be demanding. And I mean, like I said, pinky's up to you.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And you know what? I gotta give you your props too. I just gotta say, side note, I watched your guys' review on them, because I started watching it, last week. Yeah. And I seen that you guys did a review on it. I was like, oh man, I gotta see it, because I was mad personally.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Because I had my feelings about it too, and I had to just check it out and see, like, was they feeling the same way I was feeling? And yes, y'all said everything I was feeling verbatim. Yeah. D has said something, he said something that was funny. He said something like, man, call the Winchesters. This is crazy. That was so funny to me. And but no, I didn't even finish it though. I'm not gonna lie, because I wasn't really feeling it that much. Nah, but I agree with what Trav said, about the character. I guess his name is Tap Dance. Is that correct?
Tap Dance Man. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. The whole time I was watching it, I was so mesmerized too. I thought that character was just so crazy to me. I really thought that actor did
a really good job.
A really good job. Really kind of stole the show away from me personally. And that's crazy saying it, considering like the symbolism of the character, is kind of on some demonic stuff. It's crazy. But I just want to say that was, you guys do a good job with all your reviews. Had a good time watching them.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
Like them. I mean, it's something that we still talk about. Because like now on a lot of our interviews and whatnot, we say what you're gonna do, because we took it from that TV series. But I mean, I agree with you where it's like the community was split on, whether they liked the show or they didn't like the show. And while it did have some cool things up there, it's like, I'm just one of those type of people where it's just like, we see so much racism in real life all the time, especially last year. It's just like, when you watch stuff on TV or you watch movies, it's just like you want to get away from stuff that you can see in the real world.
Yes.
And that's why I had said on that review that I thought that Lovecraft Country, they did a really good job at, it's like, while they did have racism on the show, that wasn't the main focus. The main focus was the magic and the monsters. And I don't know, have you watched Lovecraft Country?
No, I haven't.
Highly recommend it. But Lovecraft Country, in my opinion, it was a lot better than them. It was okay, but it's something that it's like, after we finish watching, I'm not going to go and watch it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I felt the same way about it. Yeah, it's just, if they would have put like, I wish they would have done something with it where, cause like, I get that they were trying to combine, you got the realism of what was going on in the 50s, but then they had like the supernatural stuff to it.
Yeah.
And I just wish it played more in the the black folks' favor. Like, it was just, I don't know. I didn't have a good time really watching it.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
It was funny though when you were like, you said there was really no good feeling moments in it. No feel good, but it had me laughing. I was all like, okay, but the one moment that felt good was when Lucky slapped the hell out of that white neighbor lady. Yeah. I was like, ooh, it felt good. I'm like, dude,
it's just crazy. Now,
more of that.
Somebody on Twitter was just like, another feel good moment was that they conquered all of their demons, and I'm just like, yeah, they did conquer their demons, but at the end of it, what was waiting outside for them was like they were all going to go to jail. The kids were going to get separated from the parents. It's like the people in the community, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but
no, it's all good.
Okay,
no,
I'm sorry, but so it's like the people in the community, they didn't see the demons and the spirits and all that stuff.
Right.
All of the family saw it. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting take. And now this kind of rewinds back and piggybacks to you being a cosplayer. Now, Honey Haunting, I see that you're into horror. Is that what inspired your cosplay name?
Yeah. So I am big on horror. I do want to actually get my second manga page actually going and running. And I would love to do horror manga reviews. I would love to just really focus on the suspense, thriller, horror categories. And with my gaming channel, I would also love to do, mainly horror games, stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I know I saw on your gaming channel, it's like you were doing the Let's Play. I can't remember the horror type games, but I think it's cool because with horror games, like for me especially, like I'll still scream, like especially if the game, like I feel like if a game can make me scream and it can scare me, then they're doing a really really good job. When Resident Evil 7 came out, I had played the demo for it first, and I remember I was just walking down the stairs, and then I had made a right, and I was on the phone with my boy, and then like I screamed like a little girl, and he was just like, "Yo, is everything all right?" I was just like, "Bro, yo, this game just scared me." And everybody that's watching right now, I told him, I said, "Don't ever tell anybody about this, but I'm telling the world now that Resident Evil scared the hell out of me." And even with Resident Evil 2, the remake, like I feel like those reactions when you're doing these let's plays, and especially when people can see your face and see you getting scared, like that goes a long way. So I think that would really be awesome for you to continue to keep doing that, and get the green screen and the setup and everything, so people can see you being afraid of these zombies, these vampires, whatever is in these games, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, that's the plan. That's the plan right there.
Yeah, and I also love how you said, with your manga page, how you want to do horror manga reviews. And I know that you cosplayed as Misa from Death Note. So since I want to bring up Death Note, did you watch the Netflix Death Note movie?
No, man, I didn't touch that,
Now I could tell by the sound of your voice that there's a reason why you didn't touch that. And I mean, like with you being into horror and everything and seeing Misa, like I would assume that you're a huge Death Note fan.
Yeah, I really like
nice.
Death Note.
Nice. Yeah, Trav, Death Note is, I want to say it's in his top 5 anime. Like the dude, like he's so in love with it. He got L's symbol tattooed on him. Like that's how big of a Death Note fan he is. Yeah, and what's crazy is when that movie came out, a lot of people were pissed off about it because it's just like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? And nothing against the actors that were in the movie, because they had Lakeith Stanfield. I love him. They had William Dafoe, but it's just like, y'all can't save this. I don't know what y'all were trying to do with this movie.
Yeah, man, I really don't understand the what goes on in the Hollywood anime adaptation department, but they do some of these animes just real dirty. I don't know. Like even as just a movie though, it doesn't even hit for me. You know what I mean?
No, I totally understand.
Like just a standalone type of its own thing. It doesn't even really hit for me.
Yeah, and I remember that they said that they were going to come out with a sequel for that movie, but I love that, because we do live in this digital age and in social media land, fans, they can go on and voice their concerns for something, and they'll cancel it. They won't make it. And I love the fact that we live in a world like that, because remember when Sonic the Hedgehog first made his appearance on that trailer, like everybody was hot. They was just like, who the hell is that? That's not Sonic. And it's like, we were able to make a studio. We bullied a studio into making a better looking Sonic the Hedgehog. And then the movie came out and it was really good. I can't wait until the second movie comes out. Now, since we're still on the horror topic, I want to ask you, this is one of Dee's questions that he always asks all of our guests that we have on the channel. What is your favorite horror movie? Like, what is something that you watched when you were younger and it's just like, yo, this scared the hell out of me?
Well, I really need to get back on watching some more movies. I've been kind of lacking in that department. But a movie that always stood out to me as a kid was 13 Ghosts, which was that was an American movie. Yeah, real. That good. Was that one came out. That one came out in like what 02, 03.
Yeah, something like that.
At the time I was a little kid, and I watched it, and that always stick with me. And every time, like when I when I think about, like, if somebody's like, oh, what's like the scariest image you can think of? If I close my eyes, the first thing that comes up, man, it's just 13 Ghosts. That movie just always, it just scared the hell out of me, you know?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. What's interesting that you brought up 13 Ghosts is last year I had did a 31 days of Black survivors who survived in horror films. And of course, for, I believe it was for day 13, I think it was 13 Ghosts, because Rod Digger, she survived, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool because it's like growing up and, you know, being a person of color, you know, most of the time our people, they always died in the movie. So it's always awesome when, you know, you can see a movie and it's just like, yeah, man, that Black person, they survived, because normally they always die. So I think that is a really good choice. 13 Ghosts is something that a lot of people still talk about to this day. It's not an underrated movie. It's a really good movie, but I feel like it's not highly regarded for you know, what it did, because I mean, like, it had a good cast of characters, the story was good, and something that people still, you know, they want more of. I know that fans have said that they wanted a Netflix series, like with the stories on each ghost and like how they became who
the
they
Black
are.
Zodiac.
So I think that would be really cool if they were to do something like that. Now, and I want to kind of take it back to some more of the cosplay stuff. Now, earlier you had said that, you know, you were insecure, you weren't confident, but it's just like, you know, as your flower continued to grow and then it started blossoming, you got more confident. And I think that that's one of the cool things about cosplay, because it's just like, of course, when you first start off, it's just like, well, how am I going to look in this? Or, you know, is this going to fit me? But then it's like when you actually put on this costume and, you know, you post the stuff online or you go to a con and you get all of this support from people that you don't even know. It's an amazing feeling. And, you know, like how you were saying earlier, it's just like, you know, you did the cosplay and like, all of these people was just showing you love, man. So like, it's always awesome to get that feeling. Now, and I wanted to ask you, has there ever been any times in your career where it's just like, you know, you had people come at you sideways, and if they did come at you sideways, how did you handle that situation?
You know, luckily enough, I haven't had too much criticisms to deal with. Nice. It has been mostly support, you know, and love, but I'm, you know, unfortunately, the sad part about growing, which, you know, hopefully I continue to grow on the trend I'm going, there probably will be some, you know, mean comments or some, you know, hateful comments that will come in at some point. But if I were to receive harsh comments or mean comments, just really disrespectful stuff, well, first off, they wouldn't bother me too much, because that's just one person, you know, out of a sea of support and love, you know. And I know I look good, you know, and if I look good and my perspective of myself is good, that's all that really matters, you know what I mean? And I feel like one thing, you know, a side note about the insecurity thing, one thing that I really, really love and feel thankful for with cosplaying and stuff is I really feel like it has helped me come into my femininity more as well. And it's helped me shape my sense of style to an identity. Because now, you know, I'm having the you know, style, the sense of style, and now I have the confidence to pull off aesthetics that I've always wanted to, you know, try and explore, but I never had the means to do it, and I never really had the self-esteem to really go out and do stuff like that. I always kept it within my comfort zone. You know what I mean? But I'm big on like J fashion. I'm big on the you know, big colors, you know, yes. And I feel like cosplay really helped me explore that and really cultivate it without, you know, making all of the accessories that I make, you know, and finding all of the pieces that I find to put things together. I wouldn't have looked at certain things and saw it as something that I could just wear like in everyday life and have it, you know, just as a part of my, you know, my look. And, you know, I just feel so much more confident as, you know, a woman and as just an artist, you know? So I feel thankful. I'm really happy that, you know, I'm into cosplay. It's helped me a lot.
That's awesome, man. Like I love all of that, yo. So a question that I wanted to ask you is, to anybody that would like to get into cosplay after hearing your story, like what are some tips, some tricks, like what would you tell them if they wanted to get into the world of cosplay?
Yeah, so if there's anybody who really wants to get into cosplay, you know, and you know, get into it like all the big names they see out there, the first thing you have to do is just persist. Because, and I know that sounds corny and like lame, but it's like I didn't start off, you know, being good at makeup or good at angles or good at the setups or good at editing, you know, and doing all of this stuff without really just like a couple years of doing it. So the first thing you want to do is just be in it for the long haul. You know what I mean? Because you're not really going to see the outcomes that you want to see until you really come into it, you know? So definitely persist. Number 2 would be to definitely take advantage of the resources you have. Because I feel like now more than ever, it's really easy to take pictures. It's really easy to get pictures to look professional. We've got phones that just do what these, you know, $500, $600, $100 cameras do, you know. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of what you have already. Don't feel like, oh, I need this and that. I need all the stuff to like start off. Just start with what you have. And frankly, I've seen pages of you know, people who have 10, 20K followers and stuff like that. And they got that Minecraft potato quality pictures, you know what I mean? Like but they rock it, you know what I mean? And so
it's all about your character.
And,
what is the word I'm looking for? Just being like how we keep on saying, being confident. Like that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, 100%. Own it. You know what I mean? Own it. Keep experimenting too, because, you know, before I got my professional camera, you know, none of them are up on my page now. I had like, you know, a bunch of pictures, you know, that I had just took, you know, with my phone, stuff like that. And they were all right, but it just wasn't where I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it wasn't the quality that you wanted it. You want to have that professional look, like even though you don't have like this $3,000 camera, you know, you have like the right editing stuff and the right quality camera. I mean, because like the camera that you have is a really nice camera, but it's like you invested into that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
Keep experimenting. You know, it's gonna take, like I said, some time for you to see the outcome that you want to see. You know what I mean? But just keep going at it. Keep taking advantage of the resources you do have, master them, then you get to level up, go up a tier.
Hey, she said it.
Yeah, and you get to, you know, level up and move on to better equipment, better setups, you know what I mean? And just, you know, keep at it, keep being confident, keep experimenting with looks, you know what I mean? And eventually you'll have the skills that you want to have. You will 100%.
Nice. I love that. Well, honey, thank you for joining us up here on the new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. Like, you were such an awesome guest. And before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find Miss Honey Haunting.
Yes, I am on Instagram at Honey Haunting, YouTube as well at Honey Haunting. You know, if you want to follow me on Twitch, it's also at Honey Haunting. Nice. I'm gonna be streaming spoops and scares. You know, come get scared with me.
Hey, awesome. Thank you again for joining me. And as everybody already knows, you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. And you can look me up on Facebook. I should be the first person to come up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, honey, for joining us here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive, and we'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.